I'm going to talk about vocab and using 16th notes and especially accents to build your drum vocabulary. Also, if you dig this video, please like, subscribe, and check out my book, Tactical Drumming, Guerrilla Survival Guide, along with my website, tacticaldrumming.com. All right, so let's get into this. So basically, what I want to talk about is how to use 16th notes in order to build fill vocabulary, and how it's a powerful tool, but you really have to use accents and variety, especially with the kick drum and the hands, to make this work. So the first thing I like to do is very simply start with some simple quarter notes on the left foot. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now what this does is it establishes time very clearly, right? So whether you've got bass drum just hitting on every beat, or you got the hi-hat, 1, 2, 3, 4, the ability to play off of that is actually going to create syncopation, and it's going to make it so that the things don't work. Like, basically it makes it so they feel unique and the rhythms are unique. So just starting with that, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you're just going to play right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left with 16th notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Add that with the quarters on the hi-hat. 2, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Now if you can't play it at that speed yet, just slow it down a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. But if you're experimenting with this kind of stuff, I'm going to assume that you can play with a little bit of speed, especially with like 16 notes. So just starting that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Now, to make this a little bit more intricate, what we're going to do is we're going to now start adding accents. So the first and simplest accent is just to simply add an accent on 1. So we got like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you want to keep those taps really light, because the way you're going to be able to increase your vocabulary is the combination of accents that you're going to use against the grain of those 16th notes, right? So now the next one we're going to do is we're going to play 1E and So we're going to put the accent on the So it's accent on 1, accent on 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and 1E and 2E and 3E and the hi-hat, 1E and 2E. Oh, sorry about that. And here we go. 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and 1. So once you've got that down, you can start speeding that up. Maybe just use quarter notes. Here we go. Cool, and then you can, of course, obviously play that twice as fast. Start it on beat 2. Start on the upbeat, right? 2, 3, 4. You get the idea, right? So there's a myriad of combinations by simply playing this rhythm, 1E and And as you experiment with that a little bit, you'll be able to start mixing that up. But of course, you can play it off the snare or even move around the toms, or however you want. So the idea, though, is that you're going to experiment with that rhythm in a whole bunch of different ways. So if I get my quarter note going, I start with my grid, my 16th notes. Then I start experimenting throughout, and I'm just going to use the right hand on the floor tom, left hand on the high tom, and I'm going to just offset that pattern in a bunch of different ways, kind of like I showed you on the beat, starting on beat 2, on the upbeats, right? 1, 2, 16th notes. Here we go. So just experimenting with it a little bit, and then maybe playing that against the grain in time, right? Right, you get the idea. So you can keep basically creating all these variations and combinations. Now, once you've got that down, you can start playing with accents a little bit more. One of my favorites is to actually just play dudette, right? So 1E. And this one can be moved all over the place. So you're just playing 1E and 2E and so accents on that first 2 beats, 1E and 2E, 1E and 2E and so on the snare 2, here we go. very effective fill type, right? Maybe put on the floor tom and the high tom, right? So we got this, 2 and 3. Here we go. And just like last time, we're gonna now using that pattern, we're gonna mix it up. Put it on the downbeat, put it on 2 and 4, put it on different parts of the beat, right? 1 and a 2 or 4, however you want to do it, and experiment with that as long as you're always feeling that 4. 2, here we go. Here's one where I put it on the 2 and 4. 2, here we go. Oh, sorry. Here's one where I'm going to put it on the ands, right? Kind of weird, but anyways, and then the last one, of course, mixing it up. One of my favorites is put on 1 and a 2 and then 4, 2 16th notes. Here we go. Right, you can hear it, right? And then of course I don't have to play these two. I can play it on the toms, I can play just X on the snare, I can play X on the hi-hat. I can do it a whole bunch of different ways, right? And then for a third one, I'll show you, and of course you can do this a whole bunch of varieties, right? You can add just accents just on the 1 and 2 on the right hand, 1 and 2, 3 with the 16ths. Here we go, and 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2, add the hi-hat, go, 1 and 2, 3, 4. Now the toms, and now do it with the left hand, right? Ba, ba, so your upbeats. 2, 3, 4. Yeah, right? So basically you can mix it up a whole bunch of different ways. So the key to this idea of building vocabulary is you're just very simply using 16ths with the bass drum or with the hi-hat, and you're mixing up those accents. The last part of this, and then it is I want to show you, is that you can also play accents on the bass drum with the accents on the snare. Right? So if I got my hi-hat going, 3, 4. Right? Just line it up just like you did with everything else. Or you actually play stuff opposite. So in this case, maybe I'll put the bass drum on 1, and then I'll play E, 1 E, and the and then and, right? So 2, 3, 4. Right? Or boom, boom, maybe. The idea is that you're going to use these melodically. So you're just like you're playing a groove, you're also going to play the bass drum against the snare parts. And so as you experiment with that, that's going to increase your vocabulary significantly. The idea, though, is to create your own ideas and experiment, basically keeping that quarter note, experiment with the hands, and really take it to another place. I'm going to play it out for you one more time. Hopefully you get the idea, all right? We'll go a little bit brighter. Right here. 1, 2,